Before we begin our worship service, I want to speak to you about the disturbing events we have witnessed this week in Washington, D.C. On Wednesday, January 6th, the day of Epiphany, our democratic values and institutions were under attack when a violent mob stormed the nation's Capitol building and disrupted the deliberations of Congress in what amounted to a coup attempt. It was clearly an expression of racism and white supremacy that wants to support an authoritarian president by any means necessary. For me personally, the sight of so much anger, violence, and chaos in our nation's capital was deeply unsettling. We are certainly in a crisis point in our nation. I never thought I would see anything like this. Wednesday evening, I recalled times when I have participated in protest marches in Washington, D.C. In August of 2017, I participated in the Ministers' March for Justice, which protested the increase in hate crimes, mass incarceration, and racial discrimination. And in May of 2018, Priscilla and I attended the Festival of Homiletics held in Washington, which included a candlelight vigil and a march to the White House. Several thousand of us clergy sang and prayed together and made our witness on behalf of the love of God and the love of neighbor. I cannot help thinking how different my experiences marching in Washington were from the criminality and mayhem and terror on display this week in our nation's capital. Today, our worship focuses on the baptism of Jesus. This is traditionally a time to reflect on our own baptism. As several people have pointed out this week, at the time of our baptism, the traditional vow made by us or on our behalf is to turn away from the ways of sin and renounce evil and the powers in the world which defy God's righteousness and love. May the love of God empower us to speak and to act, to address the evils of racism and injustice in our community and in our nation. This is a time for solemn soul searching, fervent prayer, and committed action.